We have all been there. You know the moment. A sudden, cutting remark. A challenge in front of everyone. And right then, when you need it most, your mind, your voice, it just vanishes. You freeze. This isn't about being quicker with a comeback. No, this is about reclaiming your power when someone tries to strip it away. So let's break down the science of what's really going on and how you can take back control.
It is one of the most frustrating feelings in the world, isn't it? Hours later, maybe you're in the car or in the shower, and suddenly, there it is, the perfect, articulate, powerful response. But the moment's gone, and all you can do is replay the scene over and over, just filled with regret. So why? Why does our brain seem to betray us when we need it the most?
Well, there's actually a name for this feeling. The French call it l'esprit de l'escalier, which translates to the spirit of the staircase. It perfectly captures that image of leaving a gathering, walking down the stairs, and then, bam, the ideal retort flashes into your mind. This isn't just some weird quirk, it's a recognized psychological event.
Now, this is maybe the most important thing you'll hear today. Freezing up is not a sign of weakness. It is not a failure of your character. It is a deeply ingrained, ancient survival mechanism that's hardwired right into your nervous system. Let's really look at the biology of what's happening inside your brain.
Okay, so when you feel a social threat like a public humiliation or a really provocative comment, your brain doesn't actually distinguish it from a physical threat. To that ancient part of your brain, danger is danger, and it immediately triggers a state of emergency.
And this is that classic fight, flight, or freeze response you've probably heard of. It's an automatic chain reaction of changes inside your body, designed for one thing and one thing only, to keep you alive. And here's the crucial part. Your body's #1 priority becomes physical survival, which shoves complex, rational thought way, way down the list.
And this chart just lays it out so clearly, how that hijacking happens. Your heart starts pounding, your breath gets short, your muscles get super tense. But look at that last line, cognitive inhibition. That mental block you feel, that confusion, it's a direct physical symptom. It's your brain literally diverting all of its resources away from higher level thinking.
So, let's break down the neurology here. Step 1, your amygdala. Think of it as your brain's primitive smoke detector. It just goes into total overdrive. It floods your entire system with stress hormones, like adrenaline and cortisol, basically screaming threat, 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 and seizing all executive control. And here it is. This is the knockout below. In step 2, that flood of emergency signals, it effectively shuts down your prefrontal cortex. Now, this is the sophisticated, modern part of your brain. It's responsible for logic, language, and all rational thought. And in an instant, it gets taken completely offline. This is the precise reason you can't find the words. Your language center has been temporarily unplugged.
So if we know the problem is biological, how in the world do we retrain our response? Well, the answer isn't to fight fire with fire. It's not about becoming more aggressive, it's about cultivating something much more powerful and way more intelligent, assertiveness.
What's so interesting about this slide is how clearly it makes the distinction. Aggression tries to win by dominating other people. Passivity loses by devaluing yourself. But assertiveness, that's the calm, confident center. It's about clearly and respectfully stating your boundaries. It respects both you and the other person, even when you're in a conflict.
And hey, this isn't just some feel-good idea. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that practicing assertive communication can reduce feelings of stress and anxiety by up to 40%. And why is that? Because you're taking back control, not over the other person, but over yourself and your own emotional state.
Okay, so we understand the biology, we understand the mindset. Now, let's turn all this knowledge into action with a really practical, scientifically validated framework you can actually use in the heat of the moment.
These are the 5 principles, but I want you to notice the first step. It's not about what you say, it's about your body. You have to interrupt that physiological stress response before you can even think about forming a sentence. Then, and only then, you can move to assertive language, framing it from your perspective, setting your limits, and completely shifting your goal. Here is the classic mistake we all make when we're under pressure. We use an accusatory you statement. This instantly feels like an attack. And guess what it does? It triggers the exact same fight or flight response in the other person. You've just guaranteed the conflict is going to escalate.
Now contrast that with this, an I statement. This is psychologically brilliant, and here's why. It's indisputable.
The other person can argue all day about whether they are aggressive, but they absolutely cannot argue with how you feel. You're just describing your own internal state. And by doing that, you de-escalate the conflict while still clearly stating your boundary. And this leads to what might be the most important mindset shift of all. You have to completely redefine what it means to win an interaction like this. The real goal isn't what you see in the movies. It's something much, much more profound.
You see, the ego wants to destroy, to humiliate, to have the last word. But these are unhealthy, totally destructive goals. The real victory, the healthy goal, it's internal. Did you preserve your dignity? Did you uphold your own values? Did you successfully enforce your boundary? That is true success, and it doesn't matter one bit whether the other person apologizes or changes.
And ultimately, this is what it all comes down to. Confidence isn't about having a killer comeback ready to go for every situation. It's not about being the loudest voice in the room. True, unshakable confidence is the ability to maintain your internal calm, your center of gravity, when the world around you is trying its very hardest to throw you off balance. And that is a power no one can ever take from you.